Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. Today I want to talk about, well, you already know if you saw the title, I want to talk about gun-safe zones and how gun-safe zones are actually not safe. In fact, they are exactly the opposite. But first I have to establish a general principle. It builds on the principle that I established yesterday when I was saying that there is a pattern that I see where Trump will identify a problem and then, well, liberals especially, but Trump's critics will jump on him, criticize him, but especially Democrats say the problem is not as serious as Trump says it is. And so the problem gets worse until it gets so bad that they have to acknowledge the problem. And then, and this is the part I want to get to today, this is the part I want to build on today, they finally get around to proposing a solution that is insufficient because they, again, don't want to admit that the problem exists and they don't want to admit how serious the problem is. So they'll propose a solution that would have fixed the problem if these critics had admitted that or acknowledged that Trump was right in the first place. Then those solutions might have worked, but later it's too late. But the principle I want to elucidate today, building on that one, is that proposals that liberals advance will have they won't work, number one, but number two, they very often will have the opposite effect of what they're trying to achieve. And this brings us to gun-safe zones. So now that we have established that principle, now let's establish or let's explain, illustrate the modus operandi of shooters, how they act, how they commit their shootings. And it's pretty obvious because of security camera footage. We know how these shootings, these mass shootings proceed, which is a couple of guys with rifles, or one guy, or however many, will just barge into a place and then just start shooting. In other words, they enter, they immediately start shooting. So number one, if you have a sign as you have out here in Tennessee, in Germantown, Tennessee, if you go to the local Whole Foods, you'll see a sign on the window, no firearms allowed inside. So what is that? That is a message. It's sending a message. What is the message it's sending? It's sending a message to shooters, obviously, no firearms inside. Enter with impunity, shoot as many people as you want until the police get there, because nobody there is able to defend themselves and defend others against these shooters. So they're really just limited to the time it takes the police to arrive and their ammo. In other words, the very opposite effect. Now, I just explained the obvious way that these shootings occur, but now let's say that you see somebody with, openly carrying a gun in the store, strolls into the store, walks around, looks at the various displays. What do you know right away? What is the obvious conclusion based on what I just said of how shooters proceed with their shootings? The obvious conclusion when you see somebody just wandering around a store with a gun strapped to his hip or a rifle over his shoulder, you know right away that person is not a shooter. That person is a law-abiding citizen carrying a weapon for his own self-defense and to defend others. In other words, that is the person that you want in the store. That is the person you want in the store with a gun in case a shooter comes in. That is the harm of policies like the one announced in this headline. By keeping those law-abiding, gun-bearing citizens out of your store, you're creating a less safe condition, not a more safe condition. That's the obvious point that liberals don't understand. And Texas, to its credit, recently put a law into effect that is reducing the number of gun-safe zones. So you can carry a gun in church, and I think you can carry a gun in school. Obviously, a responsible adult. Obviously, a teacher. What you don't want is a policy like the one in this headline, this story of major retail outlets in Texas making their stores gun-safe zones. This is from 2015 when the law was about to go into effect, allowing this open carry in Texas. So now you have it announced in the newspapers, in the press. Here is a place where people are not going to be armed. You can come in and just shoot the place up. Shoot as many as you can, as I said, until the police get there or until you run out of ammo or until somebody managed to sneak a gun in, let's say, and then disobeyed the sign outside the door or the store policy. Now let's imagine another situation. I'm going to show you some photographs now. Now imagine you're a shooter, you're about to enter a store to shoot up the place. You walk through the door and the first thing you see is this, and this, and this. People armed with rifles, with weapons equivalent to the ones the shooters have, except more of them, more law-abiding citizens possessing these weapons, knowing how to use them, ready to use them. What do you think you're going to do if you're a shooter? Unless you're crazy, you're going to get the hell out of there, because you're not going to be able to shoot very many people. You may not shoot any, because, well, imagine every other citizen, every other shopper has a weapon. I mean, every other adult shopper. You see in these photos, you see men and women. You see these weapons open, easily accessible. You can fire back in, I would say, less than a second. So that's my rant for today. I'm going to have more to talk about gun control in a future video. I'm going to try to get to it in the next one tomorrow. But until then, that's my rant for today. Thanks for stopping by. I hope I gave everybody something to think about. As usual, thumbs up if you like the video. If you have a comment, put it in the comment section. You can also put in the comment section a suggestion for a future topic. You have a Twitter feed. You can tweet out my URL to your followers, invite them to watch the videos and to retweet my URLs further. And you can subscribe. That would be wonderful. It's great to see subscribers, and it's great to see all of you. Oh, and did I mention thumbs up if you like the video? That's another little brownie point that makes me feel good. But main thing is I enjoy doing these for everybody. It's great to see you, even if it's looking at you through the business end of a camera lens. I can see you. I can imagine you out there. So thanks for stopping by. I'm going to see you again as soon as I can. Bye.